Hello, hello, Anar here, your friendly mindset mentor and coach, coming to you live on, gosh, today's May 26th. Can you believe we're almost halfway through 2023 already? Um, anyway, today is May 26th of 2023, and we are in the seventh and second to last session for creating an identity for yourself that you're going to love, respect, and sustain throughout your lifetime, no matter what categorical situation that you face. So, we're going to go ahead and do a quick tech check, make sure that we are running on all cylinders, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. I look forward to being your champion. Let's see, am I coming live on here? Oh my goodness. All right. It looks to me like we are live. So, welcome to my live sessions, my live presentations on creating an identity for yourself that you're going to love, respect, and sustain. Um, the idea behind creating an identity for yourself that you're going to love, respect, and sustain is that throughout the last 4 decades of my life, I have built an arsenal of tools and resources that I continually rely on to help me to recalibrate, to get myself back to center, and do whatever it takes to get back to feeling like myself. So, a couple of things have happened in my life, and that again, this morning I had an epiphanal situation. So, the last 5 weeks, I've been involved in a project for a volunteer group that I'm a part of. It's a youth group, and we're putting together an event for them this weekend. And it has been insanely overwhelming for me. And so because of that, I've not felt like myself. And the reason it's been overwhelming for me is work has picked up, responsibilities have increased. I'm personally also going through a ton of health issues and health concerns that I really just I need to give my mind, body, and soul the time, space, and the pace that it needs currently. And so, with having everything fall on my plate at the same time, having everything fall into my lap at the same time, it's really, really thrown me off my game. And I say my game, but really thrown off my alignment, right? I feel discombobulated, I feel chaotic, I feel not centered, not aligned. And to the point where I've not even had the opportunity, and I love doing this, and you guys have seen it in my stories, but I've not been able to, for example, sit at the lake in the mornings when I walk my dog. So this morning, as I was walking my dog, although I was super stressed about getting my morning started on time and being able to be here and show up as my best self. And those were the things on my mind, plus all the I need to make sure I have ready for this coming weekend. And my mind has just continuously been running. I've literally not been able to turn it off. Um, However, as I was approaching the spot that I sit in, and I looked at it, and I looked at my dog, and we just kind of looked, and as I had to just, I didn't have the time to sit down and give myself that few minutes to reconnect. I went ahead and gave myself that time anyway. And I feel life coming back to me. I feel like I'm starting to be aligned. And the only thing I had done was really just sit there for 5 minutes, maybe six, not more than that, because my dog only has the patience for a few minutes at a time. And so, what I would say to you guys is when I talk about creating an identity for yourself, being able to go back to who you are and how you do things, this is what I'm talking about, right? Life is going to throw us curveballs on in any given moment, any given day. And how do we maintain who we are, what we need in the face of all of that? And these are just simple situations, but um, it could be anything on a grand scheme of things that's going to throw you off, or as something as little as just the last few weeks, I've been feeling like I'm derailed. Anything that makes you feel like you're not aligned with yourself is going to present a challenge for you. And how do you manage yourself during that time? How do you present yourself uh, with an opportunity to get realigned? And so this is exactly what I'm talking about. Is this is my identity, that although things are, I face things that overwhelm me and make me feel chaotic and out of control and derail me from who I am. There are a couple of things that I do that always help me, even if it's in mini doses, help me to feel like I am back to myself. So here we are talking about just that. And, I've, what I've done is I've taken all of this experience and narrowed it down into 8 domains. And each of these domains have anywhere from 8 to 14 zones my technical issues just don't go away, and I don't know why. um, but I'm hoping that we where we are right now is going to be okay. My technical issues just don't go away. But that's okay. I'm here. I'm pumped. I'm going to show up. Um, and the weird thing is, while I live in a metro area, for some weird reason, I live on this grid where I almost never have reception, and I don't know why. But that's my technical spiel. So anyway, thus far, some of the things that we've talked about are self awareness, body image, acceptance of ownership and self, and mindset. Now, these four topics that we talked about in the beginning of these live sessions, the series of live sessions, these four things that we talked about are the foundation of who you are. And the other four domains are what you're creating. But the very first thing that you have to do is create a foundation for yourself that's indestructible. Indestructible. Nothing can shake it, nothing can break it, nothing can crack it. You may throw water on it and it changes a little bit, and then you go back to being what you were before, anything happened. And so the idea is you first lay the foundation, you continue to build on it, right? And you really have to make sure that your foundation is solid. About life is trial and error. And what you're going to find is that you're going to win some and you're going to learn from some. However, no matter what happens, who you are, your foundation, who you are at the core of your being, is not going to change. And so you really just want to work with that and make sure that your foundation is solid. So before we get started on the next topic, I wanted to talk to you guys because I wanted to make sure that I was able to share with you the whole idea behind creating this foundation for yourself that's unshakable, right? Um, And so it all starts with me, right? If I'm unhappy, in pain, feeling hurt, disappointed, whatever, angry, those are all things I'm going to project onto others. And I'm not the type of person I am, I'm not going to do that, right? I'm going to focus on my feelings first. And I'm going to allow for other people to work on their feelings while I work on mine. And that's going to work best for all of us involved. So, anyway, I wanted to talk to you folks about this. Starting July 12th, I'm going to be hosting a group workshop. This is a workshop that's going to be 8 weeks in duration. Again, we're going to do it every Wednesday. And if you are interested, this workshop helps you to do a deep dive into your identity, into who you are, how you're going to build this foundation. And we're going to literally build from the ground up. And if you're interested, I want you to and I'm going to send you a coupon code for 20% off. So the 20% off discount is until it will last until the next session. After that, it's going to be full price. But because I'm here, because I'm talking about it, I want to hear from you. I want to be your champion. Want you to join this workshop because how long are you going to wait before you get started? And the longer you wait, the more time you're going to waste, right? So DM me the phrase self identity, and I'm going to send you all the information that you need in order for you to get the discount and get yourself registered for my workshop. It's going to be life changing. So I look forward to seeing you all there. Anyway, so we'll go ahead and get started. Thus far, we've talked about self awareness, body image, acceptance and ownership of who you are, your mindset, your social support, your relationships. And today, we're going to talk about your career. And so, before I start talking about what career is, I want to tell you about this woman that's an acquaintance of mine, or used to be an acquaintance of mine. There was a time in the past where I would, we knew each other well enough to be able to have a conversation. And she used to tell me all the time, um, I want to do something to create an identity for myself. I'm a stay at home mom. I raise my children, but I don't have anything that I can call mine. Now, how many of you have had that same experience where you will say, I'm a stay at home mom and I don't have anything that identifies me as a person? Take a moment to think about that and answer below. Okay. Take a, how many of you have had the same experience where you have said, I'm a stay-at-home mom, I raise my children, my significant other, my spouse, my partner goes out and works. They're the breadwinner, and I'm the homemaker, however you want to title it. And I feel like I'm getting lost in the mix, and I need, I don't have anything that I can call my own. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. I I was a stay-at-home mom when my children were younger, and I used to raise them. And yeah, and I say I used to, but I mean, I still raised them even when I started working. But my entire agenda was to raise my children, and then my life changed, and I had to change, the trajectory of the way I did things. However, That the fact that I raised my children, and I want you to hear what I have to say. I want you to hear it. I want you to put it in your brain. I want you to put it in your heart. If you are a parent, and this is specifically for those people that have children and are raising their children, we're not going to talk about how you're doing it. We're talking about the fact that you are doing it. If you have children and you're raising them, that is part of your identity. You being a parent is part of your identity. It is not separate from who you are. Being a parent to my two children is part of my identity. Being a nurse is part of my identity. Being an executive director was part of my identity. Being a volunteer and serving and participating in civic engagement, that is part of my identity. I don't see things separately. So I want you to understand that anything and everything that you do is part of your identity. I go to the gym every single day. Being disciplined is part of my identity. In fact, somebody said that to me this morning. I wake up, I take my dog out, I go to the gym, I come home, I get work started, and I work sometimes till 10, 11 o'clock at night. Last night, by the time I was done, it was like 11 o'clock. That is part of my identity. That's how I function. That's how people know me. None of it works in silos. All of it comes together to create an image of who I am, not only for myself, but for others. So having something separate may be a parent. Now, this is my perspective. If you see it here differently, let's chat. So, when we are talking about careers, especially for women, and I'm going to do a whole session on careers for women and the challenges we face and how do we overcome that and all of that. But for today's sake, because of the limited time that we have, I want to talk about how your career can support your identity. Your career is a result of your identity. Your identity is not a result of your career. Your career is a result of your identity and not the other way around. Make sure to watch the live or the replay, however you're watching this. Make sure you watch it in a sequence as the material builds on itself. If today's the first time you're watching this, you might feel a little lost. And that's okay. I still bring things back so you can still get snippets of it. But in order for you to get the full benefit, I would encourage you to watch in a sequential order so that things start my absolute immediate attention, and so I had to log off and log back on, and it was unbelievable. But guess what? I still kept going. I have technical issues sometimes. I still show up, and I show up in a great mood, and I'm happy, and this is what I want to do. So here I am, and nothing is going to stop me from doing it. Engage with feedback, comments, and questions. As I love to connect with you guys, I love hearing from you guys. Make sure that you calendar for yourself the very last session as well, so that you don't miss out. Be open-minded, take notes, click on the links that I'm sharing above and below, um, to make sure that you're able to access me and the products that I provide, as well as your feedback. I'm having a moment today. I just feel winded for no reason. Be kind and compassionate to yourself and to others around you. This is one of my favorites. Be kind and compassionate to yourself. Don't be mean to yourself. Okay? You are honest with yourself. You don't need to tell me what you're being honest with yourself about. You, um, but you certainly need to be honest with yourself. Okay? Uh, change cannot happen if honesty cannot happen. If you're misleading yourself about something, change isn't going to happen. Attach yourself to what resonates with you and let go of the things that don't resonate with you. Don't worry about the things that don't work for you. Just grab the things that work. Okay? And then, of course, I'm going to share with you a link to my website and to my link tree and feedbacks and tutorials up in the description above, so that you are able to access it very easily. I've moved everything over from one web builder to the next, which is allowing me better access and accessibility. So we'll go ahead and jump into our second to last domain. This one actually is kind of also my favorite. And the reason this is my favorite is I found this about myself. So I'm sure that there are women out there who feel the same way. I am the type of person who keeps on giving. And I work very well under organization, and so if I'm able to combine my passion for giving and create a structure for myself, I feel like part of my role in this world is fulfilled. Now, don't get me wrong, I spoke very much about your career is a byproduct of your identity and not the other way around. So what I will say to that is this: being a parent to my children, fulfilling beyond definition. Being a daughter to my parents, fulfilling beyond definition. Being able to be a volunteer in different areas, again, fulfilling beyond definition. So the kind of person I am, I love giving. And so the career that would have helped me to continue to do that is nursing, where I would be able to do a little bit of everything. And so when I got the opportunity to become a nurse, I absolutely took that. I took it, and the way I made it my own was I continued to build on it and then continued to help people in different capacities. I went from being a bedside nurse to a supervisor to a coordinator to a director of nursing to an executive director. Like I continued to build on it. And that is how I supported my desire to continue to help people. I created that based on who I was. Always keep that in mind. So, here's my favorite. Do what you love and love what you do. I'll say it again. Do what you love and love what you do. So, the career domain has 10 zones based on my understanding and my trial and error and my expertise. And the benefit of having a career that is a result of your identity are as follows. When you love the work you do, here's what you get. You get to show up as your most aligned and authentic self, who you are at your foundation. You get to feel fulfilled. You receive ongoing and effortless motivation because you love what you do. This is your identity. This is who you are. Excuse me. You will get as yourself. You don't have to pretend to be anything else or anyone else to fulfill any role. You'll just be who you are and what you are. Okay? You will receive a work-life balance because you'll know how to manage it. You will receive lifelong satisfaction. You'll be happy even when you have left. When I left the role of executive director, it wasn't because I was unhappy. It was because I was ready for the next phase of my life. So, zone 1, what are you good at? Reflect on the things that you're good at. Reflect on different scenarios of leadership in the past. What were your strengths? What did you love about it? And what came to you naturally? Reflect on what others have said you're good at. Your skills, your qualities, strengths, joyful moments. And of course, my favorite, journal on it. You are your greatest supporter and you know yourself best. And this is what I mean by being honest with yourself. If you can't stand the sight of blood, you can't go into certain areas of the medical field or the healthcare field. Simple. You have to know that. I'm okay being a nurse. My daughter is okay being a physical therapist. My son, the sight of blood and he, two different sides of the world. It's his kryptonite. So he could not go into the healthcare field. He could not go into the medical field. Right? Consider what you are most passionate about. It's so important to understand your own passions. When you are doing something you're passionate about, it's not going to feel like work. It's going to feel natural. What have you been most successful at in the past? And I always follow your intuition. Always follow your intuition. Okay? Let that sink in while I take a sip of water. All right. The next zone we're going to talk about, what piques your interest? What are you interested in? So, look for things that pique your interest and match your skills. This domain is a little bit of work, and I want you to be open to doing that work. Reflect on what you truly enjoy doing. This is the time when you are not going to listen to the naysayers. So again, one thing about me, and I was just sharing that with somebody, I make bold moves. I know that about myself. I also know that I'm a high rewards girl. I look for all the huge, I take risks. And I have found that when I take risks, then I get the things I want. I don't have to work for it. I just have to believe in it. I follow my intuition. I go for what I'm passionate about. I go for what I love. Do in-depth research. Don't just look at two things and be fine with it, or listen to people and be fine with it. Keep looking for things and go out and talk to people. Interview them, talk to them, network with them. Interview people who already work in the areas you're interested in. Attend networking events, expos, informational sessions. I know healthcare and hospitality and food and real estate are a couple of really big industries that host informational sessions all the time. Go sit in those rooms and see what you feel when they're talking. Attend online classes and workshops. Take mini courses. Don't waste your time, but take mini courses to see if something resonates with you or not. Does this pique your interest? Would you, if you had to do this for the rest of your life, would you be able to do it? As you look through the different options available to you, ask yourself how happy this would make you, and be brutally honest. If it's not going to make you happy, don't settle for it. Running so badly today. If you recall, a few sessions ago, I had talked about having a board of directors. Access your board of directors for guidance. Talk to them about what they think about what you might be good at. What route should you take? Do they have any suggestions? There's a reason why they're your board of directors, that you've chosen them to be your board of directors. So rely on that. The next zone is very much in line with what I just said. Do your research. Do your research and create a list of opportunities based on your interests, skills, and strengths. Make a list of industries that you're interested in. Cosmetology, massage therapy, nursing, business management, teaching, construction, real estate, whatever it is you're interested in. And I know a lot of these sound super feminine, but they're not. There's both genders, every possible gender or lack thereof involved in each. You might be great, law enforcement. There was a time when I was totally interested in law enforcement. I think I still am just a little bit. Next to the above list, so the list of industries that you're interested in, next to that list, match the skills and strengths that you already have to the list of industries. Once you've done that, research availability in those industries based on the things that match. Right? I just said that. Create a list of available opportunities. And so this is work. And the reason I'm taking list by list by list, because it's going to help you. It's kind of like a cone, right? You have 20 skills and you are interested in 20 different industries, but only 10 of them might match. And so you're starting to hone it down. You're starting to hone it down, right? Create a list of available opportunities in each of those industries based on your skill set, your strengths, and your interest. Explore by engaging in volunteering, internship, and externship opportunities. Analyze the job descriptions. See what you're going to be responsible for before you take a dive into the 20 feet pool. Don't go in without your life vest. Read reviews of the career, the job, the company, and the industry. You gotta read the reviews. See what other people are saying out there. And read it with a grain of salt. Not everyone is going to be speaking with integrity, true or untrue. Once you've done that, we're going to jump into the next zone, which is exploration. Be open to trying new things out to assess what will and will not work for you. So this is where you're going to reflect on assessment of your skills and strengths and talents based on your research and matching of your strengths, skill sets, and talents. Network with industry leaders, thought leaders, and those with experience. In one of my networking events, I met with a wealth manager. I met with a sommelier. I met with a sales and marketing agent. I met with a tech guru, an event manager. So somebody in every industry. This last networking event I went to, I sat next to a student, and it was great chatting with her. She was a UCF student, and it was great chatting with her. So you're always, when you put yourself out there, you get something in return. Okay? Another great option is to invest into an HR agency, a connection, or a headhunter. If you don't know what a headhunter is, they are people who help you to look for the right job, right opportunity for you for a small fee. Ask your network if they wouldn't mind putting in a professional reference for you. Optimize your LinkedIn profile, making it easy for people to find you and network with you. So right now we're just talking even about exploration, right? Join professional associations. For every industry that is out there, there is a professional association. Always be open to learning something new. Find ways to keep up with trends and updates for the industry that you're interested in. So one of my favorite things to do is read newsletters. And so I've subscribed to, for example, Forbes and Harvard Business Review and CNN, and a couple of others that are very industry specific to the work that I do. That will help me to stay updated on the current trends, like I said, for the work that I'm wanting to do. Try to fix my dress. Continue to be open to trying new things out and continue to push forward. So the next zone I want to talk about is taking a career assessment test evaluation of some sort. Okay? This will help you to get valuable insights and guidance. So when you're researching career assessment test centers or tests, you want to make sure that they are reputable and experienced career assessment centers. These tests will help you to narrow down your strengths, skill sets, and opportunities for growth. Read up on the test that you are planning on taking so that you can comfortably take it. Identify and allocate an area where you can be present and distraction-free for the duration of the assessment. And the reason that I thought that this was super worthy to talk about, because this is something that is your mind, body, and soul alignment. So if your mind is in one place and you're trying to take the test and you're getting ready, like you're worried about the next thing that's going to happen, that's not going to help you to concentrate, to focus on what's in front of you and be able to truthfully answer what's coming, right? Be as transparent as possible. This is about you and your future. And so you want to make sure that you are going to be transparent. Remember, we talked about being honest. Once you've taken the test, review and reflect on your results. So when I started my journey with the current coach that I'm with, the very first thing that she had sent me was the DISC assessment. And for quite some time, I didn't really think about it and I didn't really worry about it until recently. I emailed her and I said, hey, can you send me a copy of my DISC assessment? And it's like 60 pages, but I plan to print it and sit and review first what it says about me and then what it says about everything else that's out there. Because guess what? Knowing myself, I'm probably going to adapt everything about everybody else too. That's how you need to become. First, strengthen who you are, what you are, and then pick up on the greatness of everybody else as well. Excuse me. Seek mentorship and guidance. And as I mentioned, here I am talking to you about being your coach, your champion, your mentor. And I myself have a coach. Every great leader, every great authority has a coach, has a mentor, has a board of directors. And I'm not talking about business-wise. These are people that know you better than you know yourself. These are people that will help you to understand who you are, strengths and challenges. So seek mentorship, seek guidance, hire a coach, attend sessions, do self-reflection. In order for you to become indestructible and unstoppable, You must know yourself better than anything and anyone. Your foundation must be solid. And the very last one we're going to talk about today is investing in direction. What do I mean by that? Think back to your board of directors, not professional, personal. Ask them for guidance. We talked about this. Ask them for guidance. Join professional organizations. Attend networking events. These are all things that we've been talking about this whole time. So this is what's going to help condense it for this. Take the first step and reach out to the companies for the industries you're interested in. Be open-minded, receptive, and flexible. And reevaluate and revise every single time. And the last thing I want to say before we adjourn today is just go for it. Be scared and do it anyway. And it's such a huge cliche. People say this all the time. Well, be scared and do it anyway. Yes, be scared and do it anyway. And I'm saying this to you because I've said this to my children. There's only two outcomes. Either you'll win or you'll learn, but you will be much to be a part of the process that transforms your life. It would be my honor to be your champion, and I would love to hear from you. Please make sure to click on the links above, and I look forward to connecting with you. Have a wonderful weekend.